All right, so Nvidia's earnings are officially out, guys, and despite the fact that they were good, the company's growing like crazy quarter over quarter, year over year. Despite all of that, the stock's actually down about 6.5% right now after the bell, and at one point we hit $115 per share. We were down about 8.5, almost 9% initially when the earnings came out. And with this, the whole stock market is being dragged down. Triple Q's down about 0.7%, I think, close to 1% here after the bell. Actually, no, now it's down over 1% after the bell. And the S&P 500, looking at SPY, is down as well. You guys can see we closed at 558. Now we're at 555 after the bell, down 0.6%. And like I said, guys, this is despite the fact that Nvidia reported good earnings. They crushed it. They beat EPS. They beat revenue. Growth is there. Guidance is strong. And the stock is still moving down, which I'm not going to lie. I'm a bit surprised from that, or, surprised of that. And let's talk about maybe some reasons why the stock is going down and just the earnings in general. So guys, hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and of course, do not forget to you might as well now, get up to 20 stocks from Moomoo with at least a $100 deposit and your uninvested cash for a limited time until Jerome Powell cuts those rates will earn up to 8.1% APY. Guys, that's a no-brainer. So get your stocks down below or go to stocksurfs.com/Moomoo and let's talk about these earnings. And let me actually make sure you guys can see the numbers here. I'll move my big old head down here to the right. There we go. So we can see Nvidia's earnings per share came in at 68 cents, and that's on an adjusted basis versus the 64 cents expected. So they beat on EPS, which is great. You always like to see that. And they beat on revenue by a wide margin. They had record revenue, $30.04 billion versus $28.7 billion expected. So a double beat from Nvidia, which is awesome. You always want to see that, right? And what you also always want to see is strong guidance. And in this case, Nvidia reported very strong guidance. They expect about $32.5 billion of revenue in the current quarter versus the $31.7 billion expected by analysts, and that would be an increase of 80% from a year earlier. And by the way, revenue grew by 122% from last year, which is nuts, and that's following 3 straight periods of year-over-year growth in excess of 200%. So right off the bat, you're going to notice something here. Revenue growth is slowing down. And guys, we all knew this was going to happen. It's not realistic for Nvidia to grow 200% year over year forever, right? Again, they've done that in 3 straight periods. They've seen over 200% growth year over year. That's just not sustainable. So we saw 122% growth from last year, right? And now the guidance is for another record quarter of $32.5 billion, but that's going to be 80% growth. So you guys notice these growth rates are slowing down from 200% to 122%, now to 80%. So that could be a reason why, maybe, I don't know, but it could be a reason why the stock's selling off a little bit here, right? Which I do suspect it'll ultimately bounce back up. We'll see how it plays out. Of course, nothing's guaranteed, guys, but we can see here net income looking pretty juicy, guys. Net income ended up doubling to $16.6 billion or 67 cents per share in the quarter from $6.18 billion or 25 cents per share from the quarter a year ago, which is pretty nuts. And Nvidia has been the primary beneficiary, of course, of the ongoing AI boom, and the stock's up 150% this year and up almost 240% or it was roughly up 240% in 2023. So it's done very well, obviously. And the data center business, which has been the driver of the growth, that climbed 154% from last year to $26.3 billion, accounting for 88% of total sales. And it also topped the Wall Street estimate of $25.24 billion. And Nvidia said Wednesday that $3.7 billion in revenue came from the company's networking products. And you guys can see much of its business is targeted at a handful of cloud service providers and consumer internet companies, including Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, and Tesla, to name a few. And their chips are obviously crushing it and used in the vast majority of generative AI applications, such as OpenAI's ChatGPT. And another reason why you could argue the stock is selling off a bit, on top of the growth rates slowing down, which, come on, it's expected. We can't see 200% growth forever, right, guys? But it could be attributed to gross margin. Nvidia said its gross margin slipped in the quarter to 75.1% from 78.4% in the prior period, though it's still up from 70.1% a year ago. So still up year over year when it comes to gross margin. And for the full year, the company said it expects gross margins to be in the mid 70% range, and analysts were expecting full year margin of 76.4%. So you could argue maybe that's another reason why the stock is selling off here a little bit. But guys, I just don't see a reason why we're getting a 6 to 8% sell-off after the bell right now. I just don't get it. I mean, they're crushing numbers. They beat revenue, beat EPS like we expected. Guidance is very strong. That beat the number as well. And I would understand if guidance was crappy. Okay, fine. At that point, all right, 6, 8%, 10% drop, it's warranted. But we just got very good guidance. And they're also doing, it looks like they approved a $50 billion, $50 billion in additional share buybacks, which is pretty good. And let's see, high-end graphic designers, yada, 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 yada. Looks like automotive and robotics revenue, pretty negligent, but $346 million, not bad. And Nvidia CEO said Hopper demand remains strong, and the anticipation for Blackwell is incredible, which, of course, we're all very excited for. And Nvidia noted that supply for Hopper is becoming more available, while Blackwell is still in short supply, which we'll see how long that remains a problem here, guys. But yeah, that in a nutshell, in layman's terms, is what Nvidia just reported. And for me, guys, I'm like, again, what the heck's going on here? I don't think the stock should be dropping right now. But hey, I guess it gives me more opportunity to buy more, which I bought more actually a couple days ago, initiated my position a couple weeks ago, and I'm looking to buy more on this dip. But I'm going to be patient, right? I'm not going to buy more right now after the bell or anything like that. I'm going to give it maybe a day, see how it goes tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Of course, I'll do another update video. We always do updates here on Nvidia. So guys, make sure to subscribe, smash that like button, run the likes up, and let me know in the comments what you guys are looking to do with Nvidia. I'm very, very curious. And before you click off this video, do not forget to get up to 20 stocks from Moomoo. The clock's ticking. Use that link down below, or go to stocksurfs.com/Moomoo. Open up your account and fund it with at least $100, and boom, you get some stocks, and your uninvested cash will earn up to 8.1% APY, which is a no-brainer. So guys, again, use that link or go to stocksurfs.com/Moomoo, and I'll catch you in the next video. Good luck tomorrow.